Lights, camera, action. Okay, I kind of came up with the idea to go live late. And so I'm just gonna hang out for a few minutes, see if we can't get some people to join us here. I'm excited to share with you guys a new series that we are going to discuss as I get ready and do my makeup. So, and it's Saturday and it's noon and people are probably out and about. It might not be the best time, but this will be on replay for you all. So you'll be able to see that as you come back in or this evening or whatever. So welcome, welcome. All right. I'm going to start by putting my Mickey ears on here in a minute. We're going to let some people join. If you are here, I don't know if I can see comments or not yet. So if you don't mind, if you're here, say hello, and I'll see if the comments pop up. Like, I don't even know what some of this stuff is on here. Okay, let's see here. Says I can share it. All right, friends, if you are here, welcome. So far I cannot see comments. Okay, all right. So we do have comments. We just have a couple of you guys on. Welcome. I can't see you, but you guys can see me. So I am gonna go ahead and do this, and then it'll save it. So if you can't stay the whole time or you have something to do, you can go on with your day and you can come back and finish watching it later. I am gonna do my makeup as I talk about this with you guys. I'm actually pretty excited. I actually have the first episode all. Hey Patricia, I have the first episode all written out, what I want to talk to you guys about and what we're going to do. I am going to do my makeup and I'm just going to list everything later. Hi Bethany. In the description box. So I'm not going to really be talking about the makeup I'm using as I'm getting ready as much as I am going to be talking about the series. So I'm going to go ahead and start putting my makeup on. I will start and tell you this. So this is some old Becca highlighty stuff, and I've been using this and just putting a pump of it on my face with my makeup, and I really love it. So I'm just going to go ahead and so I've got one pump of that and the highlighter and the foundation. So bare skin, nothing on my face. Actually, you know what is on my face? If you guys watch my vlogs and I made that rose lavender facial oil, that's what's on my face and I'm loving it. It's doing wonderful things for my skin. So I'm going to go ahead and get this on and start telling you guys a little bit. If you're in my Facebook group, I had told you that I was thinking about and kind of asking your opinion of doing a series about how to raise your vibration. My goal for you and everyone is to live a healthier and a happier life. And so often we are conditioned by things that have happened in our past, and we don't really realize, I don't even think we really pay attention to the way that we're living and what we're doing and how it can affect you, how it can affect your health and your happiness and your well-being. So that is what this next series is going to be about. I'm not sure exactly yet how many videos it's going to be. And I'm going to get raw with you guys in it. I've got some very personal stories that I plan on sharing with you guys that it makes me a little nervous. It makes me a little nervous. I'm not sure how I feel about sharing some of the stories that I'm going to share with you in it, but I feel like most of you guys are so amazing and wonderful that it's going to be fine. And I'm hoping that my story can help you guys as well. I I didn't put anything on my eyes. Let's just do a little bit of concealer because it's a little red. I did not sleep last night. For my skin to be looking this good, I have no idea why, because I finally just got out of bed at 3:30 this morning, and I just played on my phone for a while, and then I got up and I went and cleaned the bathroom with the little kittens. Robert took the kittens today. They're too big for that bathroom, and they've been destroying it, and I kind of got teary-eyed. And you guys know, like, we've been caring for them for so long, and I got really attached, especially to the little black one. And he like came up and he like just purred all over me when he was leaving, and I was just like, I want to keep you, I want to keep you. So, all right, I need to sit because I have a bad ankle. So I know that it was better when I was up. I'm gonna see if I can put this down here a little bit. But I can't sit on the way I was sitting with my ankle because I am going to have surgery on that ankle. So, okay, hopefully this is fine. All right, so a little bit about the series and what I'm hoping will happen with this, and I want your opinions as well. Also, if you are new here, my name is Terry. Welcome. I have a fashion and lifestyle YouTube channel. We also have a beauty one, Southern Yankee Beauty. I'm just getting ready with you as I talk about the next series that we are going to be putting forth using this guy. This is the Man-Eater palette by Tarte. That's what I'm using today. So, anyway, and I have some giveaways I'm going to do. So if you are here, make sure you say hello, at least put a comment so I can enter you into the giveaways. I've got some hollyhock seeds from my garden and little hand-painted packets that they will be in. Hey, Vicky. So I'm going to give some away today. So definitely say hello, okay? Also, if you're new to lives, I can't see you. I can see I can see your comments, and that's it, okay? I know you guys can hopefully see me, and hopefully the audio is okay. Can everybody hear me all right? I hope you guys are having a really great Saturday. Hey, Sylvia. Welcome. So, all right. So what I'm going to be talking about today is the first video that I'm going to do in this series of, ways to easily raise your vibration. The first one is going to be mostly centered on your words and your thoughts, but at the end of it, there'll be a little bit of a challenge. What I wanted to ask you guys today, I'll have my email, like after this is done, the live, once it uploads, I'll have all of the makeup I'm using today down below for you guys. And then I'm also gonna have my email down there. And if you'd like to participate in this part of the podcast, it is going to be, hey, Mary. Oh, thank you. It's probably in a short amount of time, that's going to be moving into like a fall one. So I'm going to ask you guys to get vulnerable with me as well. If you feel so inclined, if you feel like you can, you feel like you can trust me. I am not going to mention anybody's name or story that by name. So, but I think that these stories will be powerful and really help other people who maybe watch this series that are afraid to speak up or dealing with something that they don't quite know how to deal with. So what I'm thinking here, so the first series is going to be important to share your past traumas with me. You don't have to. I am going to be sharing some of mine with you. Yeah, Sylvia, you'll like this palette. I think I got it in like Ipsy or something like that. And I really, it's a beautiful palette. I like it. It blends really nice, typical Tarte, shadows. Very, very pretty. So I'm going to be vulnerable with you. I am going to share with you guys in this series some of the past hurts, traumas, angers, resentments that I've had in my life. You'll know they're mine, but I'd also love some of you to share some of the things that you feel like maybe hold you back a little bit in this world, or you feel like have defined you in some way, and I'll give you some examples. And then I'd like to talk about them during the first episode. But if you email me your story, I am not going to use your name. Nobody is going to know it's your story except you. So you can email me your stories on this, because I want to keep that private for you. Okay. So ideas or examples of a, past trauma. It could be sexual abuse. It could be somebody in your family who committed suicide or had a mental health issue, or maybe your dad left when you were just a little kid and it's always haunted you, and you've always wondered, like, why did my dad leave? Did he not love me? Things like that, things that have really kind of shaped in some way who you are today. And we're going to go through these examples, and I'm going to teach you guys how to turn it around. So I'm trying to think of some other ones. That the death of a loved one, right? So, maybe you've lost your mom recently, or your dad, or maybe you're sick yourself. Maybe you have, cancer or an illness or something like that. And you aren't feeling your best. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for you guys to be comfortable enough to be vulnerable with me, to share with me your stories. And then I won't, depending on how many we get, I won't be able to share everyone's story, but I'm hoping to share enough stories to add to, so people really can kind of own this themselves, because there's a lot that we hold on to as humans, and a lot we also kind of need to release, to be honest with you. So we're going to talk about what has been, and also what we plan on doing to change it. You're going to get some very simple steps. I think just opening up the conversation is going to be healthy, but you're going to get some challenges and steps at the end of each of the video series, so that you can work on it with me together. I am going to do them with you because I'm also on my own spiritual journey and growth journey, like the rest of us. And I think, that timing is different for each person. And it's no coincidence that those of you that are here on the live today are here because maybe you were like, oh, I just, want to come hang out and, and chat with Terry. But also, I think that, there's a reason you saw that. You saw my message that I'm going live. Not everybody did. They're going to see it later and they'll get it on the playback. But those of you that are here, there's a reason for it. And I don't believe in accidents. I do think that everything happens on purpose. I just don't, it's like a happy accident, I guess. I think you were led here, and there's a reason for that in your deep in your subconscious somewhere. So, thank you for being here, number one. So I'm excited for you guys to be here and to be able to be part of this, and to be one of the first people to kind of pioneer this series with me. I don't think we really know, like, how powerful it could be. I mean, what I'd also like you to do is encourage a friend to come along, because I think when you go on this journey, especially after the first video, you're going to be like, man, I wish so-and-so could hear this, or I wish so-and-so needs to hear this maybe more than I needed it. I'm going to be going into this new, wonderful, loving place of happiness and joy and spiritual growth, and my best friend's not going to be in it. Hey, Marty, or my mom or my sister or whatever. So I'd like to really encourage you guys to, tell somebody, tell a friend that you're going through the series, go through it with them. I'll probably have some little giveaways in each of the videos here and there as we do them, just for fun. And I love this shade I'm about to use. It's called Feline Myself. We're talking about the kitties today. and how I had to say goodbye. They're not gone yet. They don't. One of them, the black guy, I think he has a home. Robert's got to call the vet. The lady that works at the vet wants the little black kitty, and then the little tabby kitty. When she left, she pushed her little head all over Nitro. She just loves him. All the cats love Nitro for some reason. Also, my animals are here with me, so if you hear them or they bark, we just had somebody come to the door that wanted to sell his pest control, but you guys know I garden and I don't want to mess up the ecosystem, and my neighbor keeps bees, and he's like, well, it won't kill the bees, it'll kill like spiders and ants. And I was like, no, like I need the ants help open up my peonies, and the spiders eat some of the bad bugs. Like I don't want to kill them, and I don't want to kill, my neighbor's bees. So I told him no. So anyway, back to our little series. I would like to know from you guys, aside from like your past, like if there was any like major issues that happened in your life that you feel like in some way has shaped you. I'd also just like to know, what do you want to see in this series? What would you hope to get out of it? Like if you could be the best version of yourself and really think about what stops you with that, I'd be interested in knowing just like what would you like to see in a series. Oh yeah, they come door to door here too. Last year they came, the year before. We get them all. We get the Jehovah's Witnesses, all the different religions over here. We get everything. So, but what would you guys like to see when it comes to a series for yourself, to keep yourself engaged, to keep yourself, is a goal for you to be healthier in life, like physically healthier? Do you have a goal to lose weight, eat better, feel better, have better thoughts, have more friendships? I'm just curious what you guys would like to see. And I think that's probably going to be a little different for everyone. But if you wouldn't mind sharing a little bit of, something you would hope to get out of the series, that would be great. You can just drop a comment. I know I had discussed it, I think a couple of weeks ago. I don't even know how long ago it was now, on Facebook. And if you're not on Facebook, I do have a free kind of like, it's for our YouTube page, but it's a group page called Southern Yankee, and I will have that after this is done. I'll put that, all of that will be down below, as well as my Instagram account, this YouTube, my beauty YouTube, so that we can stay connected. And my email will also be down below. That way you guys can, if there's any stories that you guys feel kind of compelled to share. And again, like I said, that's going to be kept private. Your name will not be shared in any of the videos, but your story may. Depending on how many we get, I don't know how many we're going to be able to do. But we're going to use it as a learning exercise for all of us. And so I'm just curious, can any of you share like what it is how would you like to better yourself as a person? Like, what would you like to get out of a series like this? So just comment below, what would you like to improve about yourself if you could? Or do you think that, you're at an age where you kind of, none of us are perfect, right? But, maybe you're at a further along spot in your journey than I am, or some other people are. And maybe you could share what you're doing to maintain a joyful, healthy life. My goal is for all of us to be happy and just happy and satisfied with life, and joyful, and wake up every morning excited for the day. And I don't think that is necessarily what's happening. I don't think we're all happy and I think we wake up and we groan in the morning like, oh, I gotta get up for work, right? So I'm just curious from you guys, like, would you like to be happier? Do you feel like you need more friends? Do you think that there's anything in this world that's just, you feel like it's just been holding you back? Those are the things I'm curious to know down below. So definitely comment below. I do not like this liner I brought in here. It's like messy and hard to do. So I'm just going to take my time here. I think this is Catrice. I did a full face of Catrice on the beauty channel. And I don't know why I grabbed this, just maybe to try it again, but it's not an easy liner to use. You know what it is good for? It's good for the flick right here. That's what it's good for. It does a decent flick, but I don't love it on the top, but I need it. So, so I apologize if I'm looking at my eyes and I miss your comment. Just, you may have to comment again because I may miss it, because it's like they pop up for like a second and then they are gone. So, so I do apologize. Let me get this eye on and then I should be able to be right back with you. So I'm just doing a neutral eye because I'm not really going anywhere today. I think I have to go to the doctor or the Target to pick up a prescription today. And I have a Stitch Fix video here that I'm going to film for you guys. And I also just have a lot of laundry and cleaning and little stuff that needs to be done. I am proud of myself for cleaning the bathroom today because those cats, oh my gosh, they made a mess. I mean, they're just babies, so I can't blame them, but they made a huge, huge mess. And in fact, I ended up having to like get on the floor and scrub my hands and knees, and I used up all of my Lysol, and so I need to get more Lysol or cleaning solution, because I don't really have anything. Hey, Miss Favor, how are you? Favor sent me the Janessa Myrick's, what's it called? Bloomin' Romance, I think it's called. I actually did film a little video with it. It's not edited up yet, but it will be up on the beauty channel. And she also sent me a dress, which I will show on this channel. Thank you, Favor. So, and if you just joined us, we're talking about, well, all kinds of stuff, right? But, oh, look. So Lisa had her eyeliner tattooed. Oh, that's so cool. So you have to let me know how you like that. You know, it's funny. I got a little mess right there right now, but it's funny. Like, if I don't wear eyeliner, people think I'm sick. Isn't that funny? They think something's wrong with me. So good, Favor. I'm so glad that you are doing well. Yeah, I am making a mess on my face for everyone to see. But I am going to be starting a series, and it's going to be teaching you guys some simple things that you can do to raise your vibration and live a happier and healthier life, and live your life on purpose with joy. And that has taken, I'm not 100% there yet, but that has taken me a long time. But I have had a massive, massive shift, I would say, in the last year and a half. I've had a massive shift in the way that I am towards other people, the way I carry myself, the way I talk, the way I think. And I am noticing that it is having some effect on those around me, which is really interesting. And that is what I want to share with you guys in the first series. The first video that we do with that. I'm so excited. I sat down today and I got all my notes ready for it. And like I said, I want to know, what are your stumbling blocks? What are the things that get in your way? I have to get off this foot. My goodness. I'm going to bend down like this for a minute. So those of you that don't know, I have an ankle injury from when I was 16 years old. I don't even know if I've really fully told the story. I think I've shared that it's a baseball injury. So it was a playoff game. You guys call it, I think, All-Stars well, in Virginia, they call it like All-Stars game, but I grew up in upstate New York, and we called it crabapple, the crabapple tournament. I don't know why, but there are crab apples everywhere up in Buffalo, where I'm from. And it was a playoff tournament, and it was a tie score, and I was on third base, and it was really important for me to get home and to make that, and to be safe and to make that run, get that run, because that would have been the winning run. So my dad sent me in to steal, and I ran in, and I was a tiny little thing too. I was probably 80 pounds back then at 16. And I ran in and I slid, and my right ankle went underneath the catcher, and the catcher was a big girl, and my foot went underneath her. Now, granted, both sides of the team are screaming at this point because this is the winning run. One is screaming to get me out, and then my team is screaming for me to probably go faster and, you know, get the run. So I was safe. I got the run. That's the good news. And really, all that was, like, that's what was worth it, right? I don't know if it's worth it right now, though, with what I'm dealing with. But when I did that, my ankle went underneath this woman or this girl, and the rest of my body flew over the top of her back. And I just felt pain, but it snapped so loudly. Both sides of the, like, both sides of the team heard it, but the parents on both sides that were screaming also heard it. And my dad carried me off of the field crying. It was so awful. And took me to the doctor, and we just assumed I broke it because, I mean, it snapped. Like, it was the loudest noise. It was like a bone breaking. That's what it sounded like. So we get there, and they do x-rays. Now I can't stand on it. I'm in excruciating pain at this point. And he comes back in and he says, well, you would have been better off if you had broken it. And I said, why? What did I do? And he said, he goes, what you heard snapping was your tendons and your ligaments. Well, I didn't realize then they don't grow back. And I didn't realize how few I had left in my right ankle. So I've had problems with this ankle my whole life. But a lot of times it was problems like, you know, when you're walking and it's just weak and it like gives out. Not funny, although it is kind of funny. People laugh when it happens because, you know, you're tripping and it's kind of funny depending on who you're with. But it hurt, and I've sprained it multiple times again. And, you know, they told me, stop spraining your ankle. You're going to have surgery. Well, that's where we are, friends. So I went and I talked to a orthopedic surgeon about 2 weeks ago, before Kenzie's wedding, 2 or 3 weeks ago. And she did an x-ray, and I didn't really think the x-ray was going to show anything because I knew it was a tendon and ligament issue. And so I knew she was probably going to have to send me for an MRI. That's a story too. Oh my gosh, I'll tell you about that. I think I left my little brush over there I'm just going to use my finger. So the x-ray actually did show something. It showed I had arthritis, which I knew. And she said that was absolutely because of the trauma that you went through. But also you have bone spurs because your ankle's bone is supposed to be like this. Mine's like this. Okay. So my ankle bone is actually unstable. And, the past year I've had a lot of pain, and I haven't been able to get rid of it. Usually I could ice it, like do ice and heat, wrap it, elevate it, take some ibuprofen or some muscle relaxers, and in a couple of days I would be fine. But for about the last year or so, that's not been the case with my ankle. It's been nonstop hurting. And then of course I coached T-ball for TJ's team this year. And so that didn't help. That did not help. Oh! Did you like that? This is live. That's what happens. I got you guys on a stand and it gave out just like my ankle. And we're going to talk about that actually a little bit in the the first video that we're going to do too about raising your vibration and what I can do to heal my ankle on my own. We're going to be talking about that. So, but anyway, so the ankle is not stabilized. And I knew that it wasn't great. I knew it was moving. I could feel the bones moving in it. I know it's not a pleasant thought, but it just is what it is. I'm going to take a little bit of this color Sunlight right here from, I think this is a Angels of Illumination palette. And I'm going to just take a little bit of this and just pop it for that little duochrome moment right there. So anyway, so she said she does need to see the MRI to see like what I have going on in the ankle, but that the bones, because the bones are unstable and have moved, they've caused bone spurs, and they're also, that's why I'm having all the nerve pain on the inside of my ankle. Also why I'm always having back pain in my hip on the other side. It's because that ankle is not right, and I'm not even aware that I'm like walking funny to compensate for it. So if you guys have had any kind of leg or ankle injuries, I also broke when I was a kid my other foot, this one, from the kneecap down when I was 3 years old. I broke that bone below my knee in 3 spots at 3 years old. What a mess I am. I broke my wrist too. I broke my elbow. Like, I am a walking mess. I played too hard. And some of you might know the story with my foot. I think I did share it. It's a little bit of a spirit story, a ghost story. I don't know. If you guys want to hear it, or if you haven't heard it and would like to hear it, just say you want to hear it in the chat, and I'll tell you about it. But anyway, so I went yesterday or the day before to go get the MRI. This is so aggravating. You guys know I'm 49. Well, one of the questions, this was just the imaging center, but one of the questions was, what was the date of your last menstrual cycle? So I told the truth because I haven't had it in months. My last one was April 4th. That was the last day of my last period. But by now, like, I'm not pregnant. Like, I would know at this point, 3 or 4 months in, right? And so she goes, oh, well, you could be pregnant. We can't do an MRI during your first trimester. I'm like, I'm not pregnant. I'm in perimenopause. She's like, well, do you know for sure you're not pregnant? Well, no, I mean, I didn't take a test, but I'm not pregnant. And so she made me go home. She says, well, you're going to have to reschedule your appointment. You have to go home and take a birth control test and then come back in here and select no that you're not pregnant on this form. I'm like, can't you just run the birth control test here? I'll pee in a cup, whatever. She's like, no, we don't do that here. And by the time you go to get a test and come here, it's going to mess our whole schedule up because we're on a tight schedule today. I'm like, are you kidding me? I drove an hour out here to get this done today. I also took the morning off of work to do this. And now you're telling me I have to reschedule. So now I have to go back at 7:30 in the morning on Tuesday. Of course, I did the test. I knew it was negative. It was. And it was just insane to me. Like, I filled the paperwork out ahead of time too. So I was like, well, hey, like, you could have given me a heads up if this was going to be a problem, but they didn't. So, and I had a little bit of a panic anxiety attack getting there because I didn't know where I was going. And I ended up getting lost, and my GPS only took me to like St. Mary's Hospital. It wouldn't take me to they said it was across from St. Mary's Hospital, but there was like a whole bunch of business buildings like north and west and east across from the hospital, and I could not find this place. And I started to get like, I know my blood pressure went like way sky high, and I finally got in there, and there was another woman also having a panic attack because she just drove around for 30 minutes and couldn't find it. So it just screwed up my whole morning to just come home and find out, take the test, I'm not pregnant. I knew that. I sent it to Robert, and he's like, dang, you don't want to have my baby? I'm like, seriously? You're freaking 60 years old. He's going to be 61 this year. So he was being weird. But yeah, no pregnancy there. And so the MRI is actually going to be on Tuesday morning. And then within 24 hours, I'll know the results, which I think I already know. Now, my mom said I needed to look at something. There's some new technology, like some stem cell something where they put like stem cells in your ankle, and it rejuvenates and will regrow tendons and ligaments. I don't think it's covered from insurance, but I'm going to look into that. And the doctor did, because I thought she was going to like build up like cadaver tendons and ligaments, but she said that would be the last option that she took. She would actually, that she said, I'm going to talk to you about some different newer technology. And I don't know if that's the stem cell research stuff that they have or something else, but to stabilize that ankle, she said they'd go in, clean the bone spurs up and arthritis, and then, and you know, make my ankle go the right way. And then, take care of stabilizing it. But I will be out of work for a while. I won't be able to go into the office because it's my driving foot for like 4 months. 6 weeks, no walking on it at all. At 8 weeks, we'll start a little bit of physical therapy with just a little bit of light pressure on it so I can start to get some movement in it. But it is a lengthy procedure. And I may have to end up taking a little bit of short-term disability. I have to talk to my boss about that. So, and I don't know when I have to have it done and how urgent. Like, do I have to have it this year? Can it wait till next year? I don't know. All right, Lisa said she'd like to know how I broke my leg and what happened. Our little ghost story. So, also, if you haven't said hello, I can see. I don't know if I'll be able to see who is in here, but if you haven't said hello, do so. If just because I'm giving away some of the hollyhock seeds in my garden, and I'll be doing it with the comments through the comment picker after. So if you guys don't mind, say hello if you have not, or just let me know you're here. Just say, hey, I'm here, so I can enter you in because I'm going to be giving several of those away. All right, so and I'll probably respond or tag you in a comment as well. So, hey, Joan. So, so my little ghost story. Oh, yeah, I do remember your finger thing, Favor. I don't remember what you did to your finger, but I do remember you having a problem with it and having to have surgery or something on your finger. So yeah, I'm going to do a whole bunch of research on this ankle because I have to walk on it. This is, and I've heard people, you know, have lifelong problems with some surgeries, but I have a very good orthopedic surgeon. In fact, my doctor recommended her, but then also my son's girlfriend is a nurse and she knows this woman. She said she doesn't have like a soft bedside manner. She's a little blunt, but that's fine. I am too. And I appreciate it. So, but she said that, she said she's very good. She's very good. So I'm going to go through all of the different options of what's available to me for that. All right. So this was, this story was, I was 3 years old, and I think it's the only thing I remember from when I was 3. I don't know about you guys, but I can't remember when I was 3. But this I remember because I got hurt, and you tend to remember some of your more traumatic events, right? And that's what we're going to kind of be talking about, things that have upset us, like things that have shaped who we are, deaths of friends and family members, or suicides. You know, maybe you had abusive parents, or you know, an addict in the family, or still do, and you're still dealing with those items. So those things can shape who we are. I guess I don't need these anymore now that I did my makeup. So they can shape who we are. This was one of those moments for me when I was 3. My sister was 1 year old. My dad was at work. Now I'm the oldest of 5 kids, but at the time, only me and my sister Shannon were born. I was 3 and she was 1. She was in the crib and she was crying, and my mom was in the bathroom. So I grabbed a rattle, not knowing at 3 that rattles are known to shoo away spirits, just like sage would as well. In fact, I've got candles burning and sage going over here. I don't know if you can see it. So, and I was shaking the rattle to make my sister stop crying because she was crying. And someone came and took the rattle from me and put it on top of the dresser. Well, I can see this person. I knew it was male. I knew instinctively somehow this person was attached to my mother, but I couldn't see any kind of figure. It was like a gray shadow, if that makes sense. And kind of tall. Well, I mean, I'm saying kind of tall, but I really don't know because I was 3. So I was like a tiny little thing. And so to me at 3, it was a tall shadow. And he took no words. I didn't hear anything, just took the rattle out of my hand and put it on top of the dresser. Well, I was a strong-willed child. Didn't surprise me. My firstborn was as well. I pulled every dresser drawer out and I climbed up that dresser to get that rattle. And when I did so, the dresser fell on top of me and I broke my leg from my kneecap down in 3 spots. And I was on crutches at 3 years old. Now, I tried to tell my mom what had happened, but she wasn't hearing any of it. Like, little history, my family is like devout Catholic. Mom, grandma and grandpa came over on the boat from Poland, and mom went to Catholic school, and they were like devout, so there was no discussing that I saw a person without a face. She didn't want to hear it. So I never really said anything anymore about that. And throughout the years of living in that house, I would have what my parents thought were night terrors, but they weren't night terrors. I was seeing people. I was seeing spirits from a very young age. After that, like I don't know if I saw them before that event, but after that event all the time. And so I used to sleep under the covers with a baseball bat and a nightlight for a long, long time. And I would pray to make all that go away because it was just frightening to wake up and see somebody standing there. And like back then I did not hear anything. Now I do still have this ability, and I do hear voices and hear things from time to time, clear as day. Like I've heard my name called out 2 or 3 times. Robert heard something coming in the door the other day that, he's also heard things. In fact, him and I both heard things on the same night in our room, and he is a skeptic, doesn't believe any of this stuff. He's like, it's BS, blah, blah, blah. But I must have been rubbing off on him because I didn't even say anything to him that I could hear a whole bunch of voices. I couldn't make out any of what was going on. It was just like a bunch of mumbled voices. And I didn't say anything because I knew he was going to say some stuff about not believing it. Well, then the next day he told me he heard them. And I'm like, did you really? Or are you just, because I didn't say anything to him. I thought maybe he was trying to make fun of me, but no, he heard them too. And the same thing, it was a bunch of mumbled voices talking, so many that you couldn't understand what they were saying. So anyway, as a child, my parents, I would scream, kick, I would freak out, and my mom and dad would come in. My dad would like look under the bed, open the drawer, open the closet door, and turn the light on, say, Terry, there's nobody here. So I learned from a very young age, well, okay, they're just not going to believe me. So this is just something we don't talk about. Now, I did bring it up to my mom when I was 16, oddly enough, the time that I hurt my ankle. And yeah, Lisa, I did share it one time. I don't know if it was on my main channel or the beauty channel. I cannot remember, but so I knew my parents weren't going to believe me. So it was just something that we were just not going to talk about. And that's how it was. Well, then my aunt came to me and said, you know what, your mom won't talk to you about this. And I was like, no. And she said, because when she was a kid, she like walked out of her room and she saw a shadow man bending over her dog. I don't know if he was petting her dog or whatever, but she got so scared, she ran back in her bedroom and like locked the door. So I brought it up to my mom when I was 16 years old. I don't think my mom still believes me. I really don't. My mom had such a hard time when I left the Catholic Church and I went to just a Christian Bible-based church, so badly. It was just such a bad time. And so her pastor ended up having to tell her, like, do you think only Catholics go to heaven? And she said, yes, that's really what she thought. And he said, no, your daughter's going to go to heaven. She believes in God, blah, 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 higher power, whatever you call it. And so, I prayed for this to go away for many years. And I saw a psychic last year in New York, and she was expensive, but she was amazing, a psychic medium. And she was a dental assistant, and she started, like, when people would be under the anesthesia, she would hear their loved ones, and she was like, what is going on? Nobody was, like, that's when her abilities kind of came into focus. So I went to her to talk to her about whatever messages came through. I didn't have any kind of biased on anything. I was thinking, like, who was that I saw when I was 3? But I didn't want to tell her about the story because I figured, well, let's see what she says. If she's real, maybe she'll know what to say, and she'll have some insight on this. So here's the interesting thing. I mentioned I knew that it was attached to my mother, and it was. The shadow I saw was the same shadow she saw when she was a kid. When I saw this psychic, she said to me, she's like, I don't know if this is a great or a great-great-grandfather is here, and he has not crossed over. He has decided to stay earthbound. And she's like, for protection reasons, I usually do not communicate with any earthbound spirits, because your earthbound spirits are your spirits that truly made a decision not to cross over. They have made a decision that, for whatever, sometimes it's because they feel they're going to be judged on the other side, so they're afraid. Maybe they were a murderer, or their life could have been taken quickly and unexpectedly, and they don't even fully realize that they've passed on yet. There's different reasons, but those energies are not always nice. I didn't feel that this energy was negative, but I did feel like it was stern. And that's exactly what the psychic said. She goes, he's almost military, like very like, and I said, yep. I knew exactly what she's talking about. And she said to me, well, I'm getting the name John. And I'm like, I don't know my grandparents. Like my one grandfather died when I was a kid, and then my mom and my grandma and grandpa on my dad's side died when he was a kid, so I never met them. And and my grandmother died when I was 2 years old, so I never grew up with grandparents, and I didn't have great-grandparents, and nobody ever spoke of them, and I didn't know their name or anything, so I just kind of filed away the name John. And she also said she was getting a military flag, like an American flag and military. She said, I'm getting like the American flag, but I'm getting military, but I don't know if it's in the US. And I was like, okay. So again, just filed it away. I don't know. At this point, I don't know what she's talking about. She goes, he's apologizing to you. She said, something happened and you were partially exposed to the veil when you were very young. Now my ears perked up. Now I'm like, I know what she's talking about. She's talking about me taking that rattle and climbing up the dresser and seeing the spirit. She's like, you were partially opened. And she's like, he didn't know you were going to get hurt, and he didn't know how to help you, and he's sorry. I got so lightheaded, I had to stop and get some water, and I told her that I was lightheaded, and she looked at me and said, she kind of smiled at me, and she said, you do realize that you have the ability to do what I'm doing. And I said, well, I realize I have something. I have no idea how to work with it, it happens to me, if that makes sense, not me doing it, like not me being in control of it, or like if I could use it the way I'd want to help some of you guys be able to connect with your loved ones that have passed on. But I don't know how to do that. I have dreams and they come true sometimes. Recently I had one January 3rd, and I wrote it in my journal. This was the last kind of thing that happened. My son Drew, my middle son, and the mother of Grayson have broken up. Well, I had a dream about why and what happened, and I wrote it in my journal. And I again didn't tell Drew, my middle son, because he's like Robert. I gotta let Nitro out. I'm gonna bring you guys with me. He's like Robert. He's just skeptical, So sure enough, what I dreamt of came to fruition in April. And in fact, the day of, or the night of Kenzie's bridal shower that you guys saw a little video on. And at that point, I did tell my son, and he's like, Mom, what the hell? He's like, how do you do that? I'm like, I don't know. It's not me. I don't know. Well, the psychic said meditation. She told me to meditate. She told me about raising my vibration. So over the last year and a half, I've been working really hard on raising my vibration, and I want to teach that to you guys. So that is going to be what that first video is going to be about. And I've since met with her again, but some of the things I wanted to share with you about the first meeting and John and who that was, well, I went back to my mom. I said, Mom, do you know who your grandfather is? She said, no, that's the big mystery. I was like, what do you mean that's the big mystery? She goes, I don't know, nobody ever talked about him. I don't even know his name. And I was like, well, she's giving me the name John. Now, she gave me the name John, but who I think it was actually somebody by the name of Bernard, which would have been my mom's grandfather and my great-grandfather. John, however, was Bernard's dad and would have been my great-great-grandfather. Okay, so back in the, whatever, I don't know, late 1800s, something like that. So my mom said, I said, well, she said she saw the military and the American flag. And she goes, well, that's the big mystery. And I said, well, what do you mean? She's like, well, when your grandfather died, it said on the death certificate, mother's place of origin, Poland, father's place of origin, United States of America. And that was very confusing to my mother because she was always told that both grandma and grandpa migrated here from Poland, and that, you know, they were both 100% Polish. And so she didn't know anymore. Well, I went on Ancestry and I started doing some digging, and I found out that her family did migrate here to the U.S. from Poland. My great-great-grandfather moved here with his family. He had 11 children, and all of those children were born in Poland and moved to the U.S. except for one, and the one was my grandfather, Bernard, and my great-grandfather. And he was born in the U.S. So they moved here. He was the youngest, and he was born here in the U.S. But then he served in the Polish army. Isn't that insane? I don't think he got along well with John, his dad, my great-great-grandfather, because we found some articles, we found his photo, and it's very sad, but I have heard him in my house. She also told me one of my grandkids has seen him, and I think it might have been, first I was thinking it was Grayson. It was either Grayson or TJ, because she said one of the boys. But TJ has a imaginary friend that he talks to named Jamesy that he's talked to forever. And the kids just think, oh, it's just an imaginary friend. I don't think so. I think I think this is a sibling of TJ's in spirit. And I said, well, what do you guys talk about? Because he was like nervous to talk to me about it. And I was like, what do you guys talk about? And he goes, well, we just like tell each other jokes and stuff and laugh. And I'm like, that's so cute. So it's somebody harmless. And I actually asked the same psychic about it. And she said, yeah, that's what it is. She said, it is an ancestor of his. It's like, it's family. It's somebody connected. She didn't know who, but she said it was family. And so anyway, so back to the story. So we found out who my great-grandfather was, and we also found out that he was married twice. The first time the first marriage was annulled, and it was something in the article in the paper, and it said that his first wife said that he did not disclose his mental issues, his mental illness. So I was like, okay, that's interesting because my mother has a mental illness. So then later, it said he had been threatening that he was going to commit suicide, and that he'd been threatening it, and he did. He said by poison, and he poisoned himself. He drank poison. They rushed him to the hospital, and he died. And I saw a photo of him, and it was just made me so incredibly sad. And in that moment, I knew why he was around, and that's because my mother had a mental illness too, and he was trying to prevent her from his fate and doing what he did, because when he chose not to cross over. I do think he is gone. I do think he has crossed over, and he is now with the light, which is amazing. I don't feel him around anymore. He can still come and go as he pleases, and drop in and visit and stuff like that if he wants, but I don't feel him around anymore. I don't hear him anymore. Like, we would hear like knocking in the house, all kinds of weird stuff. And he's the one I heard say my name out loud. And something was recorded. I think I played it for you guys in the group. I can't remember, but I saved it. It's on my phone somewhere, but there was a recording and you could hear it. It came through like my sleep app, which was really, really weird. So, and it was a little freaky sounding for any of those that have heard it. So, but I've had lots of things happen to me, lots of stories like that. Have you guys ever had anything like that with the supernatural, where you've had like, I wouldn't say haunted, but you've, lights flickering, or you've lost a loved one, and you feel like you're getting signs of that person all the time? Because I've been having a cardinal outside my door recently a lot, and he like really tweets at me like he's trying to talk to me. And it's a male cardinal, but my friend Tammy died during COVID and always said she would come back as cardinals. And the way this one is communicating with me, I'm like, that's got to be Tammy, because she's just like, she's just like, in fact, it's on one of the videos, you'll hear it. She's the bird's yapping at me, and I kind of just laughed because it was a little cardinal. So just curious if you guys have had anything like that in your past, where you've had people who have passed on, and they have you feel like you've gotten signs that they're around you. See, he wanted to go out. Now he wants to come back in. This is what he does all day and every day. All right, friends. So that's really it. I don't want to keep you guys too much longer. I am going to let you guys go, but definitely if you have stories of past hurts, traumas, things that have shaped you, I'm going to have my email down below, and you guys can email me your stories. I will probably be sharing a couple of stories in the first video that we do for the Raising Your Vibration to Live a More Joyful Life series. I will share a couple stories, but I will not be sharing whose story they are or any names, just to keep it anonymous for everybody so that you're comfortable sharing. And I will be sharing some of my own, including the story with my mom and my father and my mother's mental illness. And that is something that I don't really think I've talked about on YouTube. And I will be careful with how much I share with that as well, but I am going to open up and share that with you guys because it's going to be important to the series for me as well as for some of you. So definitely, if you have things you'd like to share, feel comfortable doing that, knowing that the story would be told anonymously and your name will never be mentioned, okay? I will pick winners for the hollyhock seeds, and I have hand painted some little hollyhocks on some little paper bags, and you will get those in the mail. I'll message you if you win, and then you'll have to send me your address and I can just send them in the mail. And I think that is it, my friends. I do have to put this cute little sign up in my garden today. It says hoeing is hard, or hoeing ain't easy. My sister had given this to me, and I'm like, that is so freaking funny. So that's going up today in the garden. We had a massive storm come through. I don't know if it was the leftover from Burl that came through, but it was like over 24 hours of just a lot of rain, some flash flooding and stuff like that. By the way, Favor, I hope you guys are fine where you're at, because I know she's in Texas, and it came right up through there. I know a lot of people were evacuating from Texas. So if any of you guys are down in Texas and we're dealing with that or the aftermath, I am sorry, and I hope that you are fine, and that your animals are fine, and that your home is fine. So lots of love and positive vibrations going out to each and every one of you that had to deal with that. But yep, we are still drying out outside, but I think it might be a good day to just get outside and ground a little bit and feel the earth and dig my hands in the soil and get dirty. And I have Savannah, her 1-year-old birthday party is tomorrow. And then in the evening, we have our T-ball pool party. So it's going to be a busy weekend. I've got to go get some shopping done for little Miss Savannah. I can't believe she's one already. and she's such a happy baby. So you guys, thank you guys so much for joining me, and I will see you guys soon. I will see you very soon. Like I said, I'm going to be filming a Stitch Fix video today as well, and as soon as I get the first episode filmed, it's all written out, I will put that up, and I hope you guys join me for that. And I hope you guys like the series. I'm going to definitely be asking for some feedback, both in our Facebook group as well as in the video, to see what you like, or if there's more of one topic or another that you would like to hear about, so, or want us to delve a little deeper in. So you guys will just need to, it'll be interactive. You'll just need to let me know what you want. All right, my friends, that is it. You have a wonderful day, and I will see you all soon. Take care, guys. Oh yeah, the picture, Robert bought me that picture. I know, let me see if you can see it. That was just a happy accident. That was a beautiful happy accident. Isn't that almost perfect? They match beautifully. So I've loved it. So, all right, friends, I will see you soon. Have a good day.